Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at this EnGenius Cloud Managed Switchable Smart PDU. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description. And if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So at first glance, this might look like a power strip, and it is a power strip in a way, but it's a very advanced power strip. This connects into your network and it allows you to switch and monitor your outlets. So this has 6 outlets on it. So with all the advanced features, this also does supply surge protection and overcurrent protection. So let's get this opened up. So we have QR codes for the quick start guide and the product info. Pull this out. So it looks like we have some cords in here. This would be the power cord. So this is like a standard computer power cable, but this is 14 gauge cable. So here we have a guide to rack brackets. So if you're going to mount this in a rack, it shows the different ones and you can see those in here. So there's the brackets. Let's see what else we have in here. So there are screws and these are feet. So I'll probably use the feet. So I'll get the feet installed real quick. Okay, so let's get this plugged in. So this has a little display screen. It says click to navigate the LCD or long press to go back or home. So I'll peel this off. There's our screen. So let's take a look at this left to right. So here we have a circuit breaker. You press it to reset it. We have our screen, power. We have 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. We have lights for protected and grounded. And then we have our 6 ports and they have lights under them. I thought this was grounded. Let me try a different plug. So for some reason this is not passing through ground. So we are grounded now. That's a nice feature that it shows if it's grounded or not. I'll have to check that outlet later. So this can be managed with EnGenius Cloud. So to get that set up, I'll go to my iPad. You can do this on a phone also, or you can use the EnGenius to Go web. So I'm logged into the app. I'll hit plus at the bottom and I'll say register device. So I'm going to scan the QR code on the bottom of this. It brought up the device. I'll hit register. I'll say assign to network. Choose my network. I'll hit next. Now I need to connect it to the internet. So let me find a network cable. So I'll plug this in here to network 1 and I'll hit finish setup. It says congratulations. I'll hit finish. So it may take a few minutes for this to get set up. Okay, so we have this connected up to the EnGenius Cloud. I'm going to get this set up with some things and test it out, and then I'll demonstrate it. Okay, so I have a couple of things set up here. I have the EnGenius PDU. We have the 6 ports. In the first port, I have a USB phone charger, and I have this USB light. So when we plug this in, it just lights up. So in the second outlet, I have a small PC running Linux, and this is the monitor for that, so we can see the Linux interface here. And I'm going to use this to simulate some piece of network equipment, like a router or a server or something. We'll see how this plays out in a bit. But first, let's head to the EnGenius Cloud web interface to see how we can interface with the PDU. Okay, so I'm logged into EnGenius Cloud. So we set this up using the app on the iPad, and this is the web interface. So to see the PDU here, we can go up here to Manage, and then PDU. And here we can see the PDU. We can click on details. And this is going to show us some stats and such. We can see the consumed power, the current and voltage. So it's currently drawing 8 watts. Let's scroll down a bit. Here we can see summary. This is showing us the outlets and how much power each is using. We have schedule. So you can schedule the outlets to turn on or off at a specific time. So you might have a PoE switch connected into some phones or access points, and you only want those to be on during business hours. So you could schedule the outlet to shut off and turn those things off. We have AutoReboot, and I'm going to get into this a little deeper in a bit. We have alert, that's if you have a pro license, and then we have logs. So let's go back to summary. Here we can see the outlets. So if we click on the first outlet, we can see the power history, and we can see this is drawing almost no energy. It's just USB, so it's super efficient. Let's click on the second one, and here we can see some spikes in the electricity of the second outlet. So we can reset these outlets. So let's go back to the first one and I'll hit reset. So if we take a look at the light here, when I hit this, it should flash. So if you have a piece of network equipment that is down, you can hit reset and it will power cycle it. So if we scroll down here a little more, we can see all of the outlets. Let's click on the first one and hit edit. Now we can name this. We can enable or disable the outlet. We can also tell it to never power off. So I can check that. If you have some critical infrastructure, you can make it so it never loses power using this. We can also change a power on delay or power off delay. So if you have multiple pieces of equipment that need to be turned on or off in succession, you can control that here. And then we have these icons here to represent different devices. So we can hit OK here, and then we'll hit apply. So I set this to never turn off. So if we were to power cycle this right now, that outlet would stay on. So if we go back up here to the first port, it says never power off is enabled. So the second port is representing some sort of network equipment. So let's check out the auto reboot feature with it. But first, let's go back to summary. Let's name this critical server. We'll go to auto reboot and we'll select critical server. Now you can see the first one is grayed out, but on the second one, we'll check it and hit edit. And here we have an auto reboot feature. So we can turn that on, and then we're going to give it the IP address of this computer. So on this computer, I typed IP space A, and we can see the IP address is 192.168.7.161. So I'll enter that in here. I'll hit add, and then I'll hit OK, and then I'll apply. So it applied the settings there. So now if we come back to this computer, I'll type ping, and I will type the gateway address. So we're running a ping here. And this may not be visible, but you can see more or less what I'm doing. So I'll go here now, and I'm going to take this interface down. So I'm running sudo IP link set dev eno1 down. So if I try and ping now, the network is unreachable. So in a minute here, this will reset the interface because the PDU is trying to ping this, and it doesn't get that ping coming through, so it will kill power to it to power cycle it. Okay, so that power cycled. So now this is rebooting. Now, needless to say, this is not the best way to shut a computer down, but this is in a situation where something or other has caused the network to go away on this machine, and this is a way to power cycle it. So this could be a router, a server, a switch, telephony equipment, network video recorder, or any other equipment that has an IP address that could be plugged into the PDU. Okay, we'll head back over to the web interface and let's change this here. Let's go to the USB light and say edit, and we'll turn off never power off here, and we'll set that to our critical server. We'll tell it to never turn off now. We'll hit apply. And now we're going to select all of the outlets. So this will reset outlets 1 through 6, but the second outlet will not reset because it has never power off enabled. So we'll hit this, and we're going to watch on the power strip as the lights under each outlet turn off and then back on again. So you can see that turn those on and off one at a time. And I guess I should try the power button here too. We can press it, and you can see this will turn the outlets off one by one, except for the second outlet, which we told to never turn off. So you can also manually just kill power using this. So now we can turn them back on, and it will turn them back on one at a time. So we've been controlling this by the web interface. There's also a control panel on the PDU itself. Let's see if I can get a good view of this. So I'll press the button here, and this has a whole menu in it. So I'll click that, and we can see outlets, schedule, alert, information, display setting, QR code, reboot, factory reset, back. Looks like we're back to outlets. So let's go to outlets here, and we can see the different outlets. The first one says USB light. So we'll hit the little search here. We can see peak data, data interval, enable, disable, reset. Let's get both in view now. It's kind of hard to tell that that's on. So let's hit reset here, and we'll say yes. Did I hit that? Oh, we say confirm. And you can see it just reset that outlet. Now if we want to exit out of this, we can just hold down this button here, the bottom button, and that will take us back to the main interface. So this is telling us how many watts we're pulling. We have 8.1 watts, 0.1 amps at 123.4 volts. So that's the EnGenius ECP106 PDU. Now I had this USB light and this computer plugged in here just for demonstration purposes. The ideal usage for this would be to plug in your gateway router and some switches and other network equipment, maybe some servers, and then you could monitor and control those remotely. I just didn't want to be haphazardly shutting network services and servers off for demonstration purposes. So I really like the configurability of this. You can power cycle outlets, you can have them automatically power cycle, you can set up schedules, and a really nice feature is if you don't want an outlet to turn off, you can tell it to never turn off. So if you have a network you manage remotely, this can be a vital piece of equipment for monitoring. And then also if you need to power cycle something, you don't have to send someone out to that remote location to do it. You can do it right from the web interface. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.